Hello there, how's it going? I just want to quickly use this video to show you how to set up settings.xml for your Intellij. So say you just installed Intellij IDEA on your system, and when you created a new project, it will show you this pom.xml file. Um, or the thing is, if you need to add some benefits to this pub.xml file, um, you need to set up settings.xml uh, in your .m2 folder. So if I go to the uh, by the way, this is a new UI for IntelliJ IDEA. I think this is the latest version that I installed. It's a 2023 version. So here, if I go to, um, so this is 5. If I go to settings, and if I go to build, and I go to build tools, and then from there, I should have maybe. So here, you can see um, the user settings file is pointing to my home directory, and inside there is a .m2 folder and setting.xml. Uh, and the same thing for the local repository, pointed to the .m2 folder and the repository. Now, if I go to the .m2 folder, by the way, your user setting file may be having a different path. So you need to locate the path of your .m2 folder. Now, if I go to the home directory, it should be users, then my name, and then this is the .m2 folder. So if I check here at the moment, there is a repository folder. Just to confirm that, here you can see this is my home directory. So I can cd into the home directory. This is Git patch, you can download it online. So cd into the home directory, and then let's cd dot m2. Okay, and if I say ls, so there is only a repository folder there, the dot. Setting.xml file is not there. Now you need to create a settings.xml file in this .m2 directory. So to know what to put into the settings.xml file, I would suggest you go to where IntelliJ IDEA is installed on your system. In my case, I installed it in the program files directory, and inside there is JetBrains, and inside there this is the IntelliJ IDEA Community Edition 2023 1.4. If I go there, I need to go into the plugins directory. And inside the plugin, I need to look for Maven. So if I check Maven, there is a lib folder, and then there is a Maven tree. If I go here, I can go to the conf folder, and inside conf there is settings. So I can just open this with a Notepad++, which you can also download. So this is what the settings look like. At the moment, everything is commented. So my IntelliJ idea is not actually pointing to this. So you can just look through what is here and use it to set up your settings.xml. So this is where it started. This is settings tag, and then inside there you have a local repository. You can just read through it and see, basically understand what it's saying. And from there we have interactive mode. We have a different tags. We have offline tag, plugins group. We have profiles tag. We have a proxies tag. But this you're not going to I mean, it depends on your use case, but in my use case, I'm not going to use all of this tag. I just need the mirrors, I need the profiles, and I need the active profile tags, and I think that should be enough for me. So one, you could just copy and paste this thing, everything here, or just so what I'm going to do is I'll go to the um my home directory, and in there I'll go to um the .m2 folder. So inside the .m2, I'm going to create a settings.xml file. So I'm just going to use the uh, command line. So I'll say touch and settings.xml. So that should be created for me now. So it's been created. Now I can edit it with Notepad++. So here, I'll go to this one. This is the one from the Maven plugin. So what I'm going to do is copy this settings tag. Because it will take time if I have to type everything. When you see some settings, some of them may be using 1.0.0, but this one is using 1.2.0. So I'll just copy this one, paste it here, and this is local repository tag. And let me close the setting tab. So to close it, I'll say settings, close the tab. Then this one, local repository. So the local repository basically identify your repository here, which is this one. So what you need to do is provide a part of this repository, which is inside the .m2 folder. So usually you have to say um, um, user user.home user.home. Then what's the backend then? And local repository, then close it. So basically, if you say user at the home, it's just going to go to the home directory, or in the home directory, you have the .m2 folder. Inside the .m2 folder, you have the repository folder, repository, which is this one. So that is the part of your local repository. So the next thing I want to do is the mirrors, which is I want to be downloading the dependency from Maven Central Repository. So I'm just going to create mirrors for that. So I'll say mirrors, and then uh, close the mirrors tag, mirrors, and here I'll now the mirror I want to specify. So this is the mirror tag, close the mirror tag. So the mirror here will be so for this mirror I need to provide a ID. So the ID, so since I need an ID tag, ID, what's the ID tag? So I need to say, let me say central, central, central. So this will be for central repository. So here I need to provide the URL of this mirror. Basically, since I need to get the MSA from central repository, I need to provide the central repository URL. So close the URL tag. Now the URL would be I think HTTPS let me say repo.maven.apache dot org. .org. That should be it. .org. So if let me copy this. So I'm just going to copy this and check online if it's the right one. So okay, this is it, maybe 2. So you can specify maybe 2 then. Okay, if I go back here, I need to specify maybe 2. Okay, maybe 2. So and I'll say mirror of the ID. So if you check here, let me find mirror. So if I go to mirror parts, there is a description here. If I go to mirror parts, so here it says the mirror ID, the repository ID, which is mirror of the repository ID. So here, so if I say the repository ID is, let's see, um, let me say mirror of, so this is correct. So I just copied mirror of, okay, I was going to say the repository ID is Maven Central. So if I say mirror of Maven Central here, okay, so we have the mirror ID, the URL, the um, mirror of the repository ID. Now, that's one mirror is enough for me. The next thing I'm going to do is create a profile. So I'll say profiles, and close the profiles tab, profiles. This is take on the profiles. So inside the profiles tab, I need to have one profile. So say profile. So in this profile, I need the profile ID. So the profile ID would be, let me call it, okay, this ID, let me call it um, central repository, central repository. So the profile ID, then the activation, I'll say activation, by default, I want this one to be active. So I'll say um, activation. Okay. So activation, I'll say, so I'm going to give it a condition, um, basically active by default as true. Active by default is going to be true. True. Because they active by default. So basically, I want this profile to be active by default, and this profile is going to be basically the central repository profile. And the repository for this profile is going to be, so I'll say a repository. So the repository tags, repositories. So in case you want to have more than one repository, right? So inside this repository, I need only one repository. So say repository. So inside this repository tag, I need the ID of the repository in the mirror. So let's say ID. So here we say the mirror of the repository ID, which says Maven Central. We just copy it and put it here. So, and then we post this one ID. Good. So now let's provide the URL of this repository. So we can say the URL is, I'm just going to copy this one. So if I say repo1, because I think there is a repo1 for Maven Central, right? So if I change this one to repo1, Maven dot org, I think. repo1.maven.org. Let's see. Okay, let me check Spark. No, org application. Okay, good. So this one is working. So I'll say, I'll just copy this one. Copy this one. And then say, put it here. So this would be the URL of the repository that I need. Just close the URL tag. So now the next thing is so now here I'm saying that this repository or this profile should be active by default. Now, down here, I'm going to define active profile and provide this repository ID, basically the profile ID, which is central repository. So, so I'll say active profile, active profile, active profiles. Then close the active profile tag, active profiles. So inside the active profile there, I have so like if you have many active profile, right, you can specify all of them, but I have only one actually, active profile. Then close the active profile. So the active profile, the ID of this active profile is the central repository. So central repository is the active profile. So I think this should be enough for you for basically to get you the dependencies downloaded from the Maven Central. So I'm just going to save this one, save it, and then so if I check here, it says so 1 KB, right? So if I go to my Maven project now, and then I'm just going to close this one and basically add some dependency here. I'll create a dependencies tag. Inside the dependency, I need another tag dependency. The group ID is going to be, so here, if you go to org, which would be the ID, org.apache, then Spark, right? So this will be the group ID and need Spark core 2.12, 3. So Spark core 2.12. So this is it here. So this will be the artifact ID. So if I go back, also you can just check here to just like copy and paste the dependency directly. You can check Spark core here, Spark core. So if you check here, so you see different versions of the Spark core here. So if you scroll down, you can see 3.1.2. So if you click this one, you will have the Maven dependencies, which is this one. So this is the group ID, this is the artifact ID, and this is the version. So you can just copy everything. And so I'm going to copy it from here. We can just copy everything and paste it here directly. So I'm just going to replace this one. So at the moment, right, it's showing red. So what I'll do is I'll just re-upload. Okay, here I'm getting a message, an error message actually saying that the setting.xml has a particular error. So syntax error basically. So if I use F2, um, function F2, okay, so some error here. So here activation. Okay, I close the tag, and here activation. Okay, here I haven't closed the tag here. Okay, this file does not belong to this project. Allow editing until I, okay, yes. So, okay, now it's resolved. So, okay, what I'll do is try to, okay, the this should have been resolved now. Let me try and build this C or just the file that's not runnable. Okay. Um, so this is a new UI. I'm just trying to navigate. So let me try to build the project. So just re-import Maven. So if I go to Maven, reload projects. Let's see. Okay, basically, so I think this error is coming in this version. It's not an error, it's just some warning actually. So if I try to check it, so it said dependency is vulnerable. Basically, it's saying the Spark core 2.12, 3.1.2 is vulnerable. So but in the previous version of Intellij, you don't get this error, I think. So yeah, anyway, this will work. Basically, I mean, any dependency you want to add from Maven Central, you can just add them. They will be automatically loaded. And you can see here that these Maven dependencies are being added automatically, like faster XML Jackson, data bind was added automatically. The Spark, I try to go down. Spark should be somewhere here. Mm, Anyway, so basically that's what I wanted to show you. This is how you can set up your settings.xml for your Intellij idea project. Thank you for watching this. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and leave a comment. Have a lovely day and goodbye.